questions as we go, folks. There's a lot tonight. It's very, very in-depth tonight, my presentation. It is feet on the street in terms of a presentation. It is, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty stuff here, which is exactly what we need in this particular time. What we're talking about is we are talking about how to conduct awesome video tours. You are going to need this desperately. And we're going to talk about the best strategies. So pay very, very close attention, folks. I'm also, you guys know all this stuff ends up in the member back office for you. But what I'd like to do is make sure that you understand the importance of this. And I'm starting with a major, major warning. What I'm about to present, and I said this at Acre, Calgary, and I didn't even know how true it was when I said it. For those of you who are at Acre, Calgary, I said that so far, real estate investors have been afforded the luxury of being lazy. Real estate investors have been afforded the luxury of being lazy marketers. It's been okay for us to be lazy marketers. And I'm not calling you lazy. I'm saying that we're, in general, as real estate investors, as a cohort, we're relatively lazy marketers. And I've been, working with you for the last 2 years. But I'm giving you a big warning. I want you to mark this day on your calendar. It is, what is it today? The 22nd, April 22nd, because I'm telling you today, folks, if you don't start moving on some of the stuff I'm recommending, you're going to get hurt. You're going to have pain in the future. In a year from now, you're going to say, JG, I can't rent my apartments. I don't understand. I'm way behind the market. And it's because of this stuff. So it's very important. I'm just putting out that warning that it's becoming critical. It's been okay thus far to be lazy marketers, not anymore, okay? I want to talk about friction tonight. Friction is critical. Friction is that thing that in marketing really makes a difference. If you have low friction, you're successful in today's day and age. If you have lots of friction, you're less successful. Let me give you a perfect example of friction. If you order from Amazon, you know what it's like to have very little friction. You go on Amazon, you find the product you like, 2 clicks, boom, it's at your door. Amazon's gotten so good now, they've bundled it into Alexa. You can just tell Alexa, hey, Alexa, order me some toilet paper. They're probably sold out right now. But you say, hey, Alexa, order the cat food for me. And Alexa knows what cat food you typically order. She knows what credit card you have. She places the order. It arrives at your door. You could literally, that's low friction in Amazon's business. Now in our business, we're in a different business. We're not in the Amazon business. So what does friction mean for us? Let me show you. And again, it hasn't been that important. You've been able to operate with quite a bit of friction in your space, but going forward, it's going to be very, very different. So let's start with number 1. Going forward, you will need a photo of every single room. Now I know I've said before, you've heard me say that you need at least 10 photos because, well, you need as many photos as the platform you're advertising on will allow you. So in Ontario, we use a lot of Kijiji, and Kijiji allows you for 10. So you would have to have at least 10. That rule is changing. That rule will change to you need a picture of every single room because people are not going to go visit your place anymore. People are going to rely on pictures more than ever before. Same with video. Not having video was an option before. Now, major friction. If you don't have a video of your property, the inside, the outside, if you don't have a video tour, which we're going to talk about, major friction. Floor plans. Before, not necessary to have a floor plan because I'm going to go see it anyways. Not anymore. Going forward, we are going to be in a position where you're going to need to show your tenants the floor plan. You may even want to, and there's lots of programs out there, folks, where you could do a floor plan on the computer and actually show the dimensions of the room so people get a sense of what a 10 by 10 bedroom looks like or a 20 by 20 living space looks like. You're going to have to do floor plan. Not having a floor plan is going to be friction going forward. Not having an online application, you know that I've been harping on this for years now. Again, it's been somewhat okay, but going forward, if you don't have an online application, major friction. Not having a text message option for your clients, major friction. Not doing FaceTime tours, major friction going forward. And not having the ability to pay rent online is going to also be a friction. So checks are a thing of the past. They have been going out slowly. All of those trends of what's been happening slowly to the real estate world, guys, is about to explode and happen much faster. You were lucky because it was happening slowly to you, but now it's going to happen very quickly. So that's why the red warning slide is on, because it's going to become very painful. So please get ahead of the curve. Now, I want to remind you about pricing, okay? Because right now there's going to be, I'm going to talk about 3D tours today, Belinda. I want to remind you about pricing, because going forward in terms of today, in terms of inquiries, in terms of rentals and what's happening in the marketplace, this is just a little reminder. If you're getting very little inquiries, you put your place up and you're typically used to getting 10 inquiries a week or 20 inquiries a week, and you should be tracking that as I've taught you. If you're not, then, and if you notice your inquiries are way down, you're getting 2 and you're used to 10, then you know your price is too high. Now, pricing, folks, is an interesting, and thank you, Jennifer. I don't know if I can get all to the questions after, so I'll make sure I answer the questions after, okay, folks? Pricing right now, guys, is tricky, okay? Not all of the pricing, for some rentals, your price is actually gonna go up. And for other rentals, your price is gonna have to come down. Okay, so pricing is very interesting, which is why I'm reminding you of the pricing structures. If your inquiries are dropping like crazy, it means your price is too high. Lower it by 50 bucks. If your inquiries are skyrocketing, your price may be too low. But the real important point I want you to pay attention to is if you're getting the inquiries you want, but your conversions are down, meaning you're just not getting anybody through. You're just not getting the applications. You're just not getting the people into the apartment. That's called a conversion. Then that means friction. So go back to my original slide of friction and make sure that you lower the friction, okay? Look at all your friction points and start knocking them off one at a time. Pictures, videos, floor plans, da-da-da-da-da. Now, when it comes to your advertising, folks, the most important part of all your ads is, and I'm gonna get into the video stuff in a second here. I just wanted to kind of do a quick little summary. The most important part of your ad is your headline. So instead of doing a weekend course on how to write headlines, I'm giving you a free, and David or Bonnie, maybe you could put this link in the chat for everyone to go there now and get this. Go to remy360.com, click, I think, on free resources, and you'll see a report there called 33 Headlines. And go ahead, put your information in and get that report. It will have all the headlines you need forever. You'll never have to reinvent a headline ever again. It's a huge time saver for you, and it's a huge effectiveness tool. So go ahead and do that right now, folks, before we keep going. Do it now. Let me check these questions. Okay, we'll get some of these questions after. Thank you so much, Mark. Okay, that's great. Okay, Mark, interesting. Mark, we'll fix that. I hear there's an error on that page. Perhaps we're going to get that fixed. We're going to get you guys this report. Okay, keep this in mind. I'll send you all a text message maybe after with where you can get the report if you're getting an error. Let's get to videos, baby. Let's get to the video tours. We have some incredible information about how to conduct video tours. I've never done it in so much detail, and I'm really pumped about what this is happening. I'll talk about the applications at the end, Michael. So there are 5 options, folks, okay? Keep this in mind. There are 5 options. You have 5 options. Number 1, you can write your advertisements with text only. If you've done that, you haven't been following RAIN system, and that's a no-no. Big no-no. Slap yourself on the wrist. Not good. Don't do that. No text-only ads. They don't work. In the past, we've told you to put text and photos. That was a minimum. And we told you how to take photos and all that stuff. That was okay last month. 6 weeks ago, that was okay. It is no longer okay. You understand? It is no longer okay. It is no longer good enough. Okay? Next, photos. You need to include photos and videos of all your properties. Okay? Now, some of you have big portfolios. It's going to take time for you to build these assets. I understand. If you have 20 apartments, 50 apartments, 100 apartments, it's going to take you months to gather all the videos of your apartments, that's okay. Start working on this project, folks, and I'll show you at the end why if you don't start now, you're going to be in mega pain later. Then you could do a 360-degree video. That's the next layer. Okay, so first you've got to do at least photos and videos. Every single one of you are going to do that at minimum, and I'm going to make sure of that. The next layer is to do a 360-degree video. I'll show you about that. And the last layer, and the best, but definitely the most time consuming and definitely the most expensive, is a self-guided tour version, which I'll show you tonight. So the three options is for videos is number one, and yes, Jeff, they'll be there. Number one is you need a selfie video tour, okay? That is the basics of a selfie video tour. You can see the young man there doing one right now. Great example of a selfie video tour. I've given you guys samples of what that is before, and I'll get into details in a second. Number two, I want you to take a 300, if you're gonna up-level your game, you could do a 360-degree video tour, and here's what those look like. So you put this 360-degree camera in the middle of the room, and it takes this beautiful sort of panoramic 360-degree shot. Now, you could invest in a fancy camera. The Insta-1 camera is a version of a 360-degree camera. They range between 200, 300 bucks, maybe 400 bucks at most, okay? And that's a 360-degree tour. So I'll just play that again just to show you. So it's a 360-degree tour, which we'll talk about. And it just takes good, it's good for big rooms. It's good for big spaces, and it is definitely something that you should look at, consider doing, okay? Now you could do this. You could do this by holding your camera on your chest like this and just rotating in circles. Yes, you can. Is it gonna be as nice as this? Maybe not, but is it a hack? Is it a way to do it? Yes, it is, okay? So that is, that's a 360-degree tour. Then there's this self-guided tour. Now this is, we're gonna talk about this, folks, but this is where the self-guided tour, think of it like Google Maps, but inside your property. You ever use Google Maps where you're clicking around and you're going down the street and you're looking at this house, you're looking at that house? That's what it is, but of inside your property, okay? These right now, if there's any realtors, I saw Shannon Murray on, Shannon Murray's done a ton of these, no doubt. Shannon Murray's done, real estate agents have always done a ton of these because they're selling a property and it's a big commission and it's a big price and so there's more marketing dollars put into it. But I'm telling you though, this is going to become critical in the rental space as well, because we will not be doing showings the way we're used to doing showings. Things like open houses are going to be a thing of the past, and it is time for us as rental housing providers to up-level our game, or the pain will come. So that's a self-guided 360-degree tour. So let's talk about best practices for videos, okay? We're gonna jump in. And I got some great resources for you. My gosh, I'm so pumped about these. Number one is staging. Now, staging is tricky, okay? Number one, it's expensive in most cases. Number two, if it's empty, if there's no staging whatsoever, okay, there's no staging whatsoever, it's too empty. And the problem with no staging, folks, and I want you to consider this, okay, I'm not a professional stager, not even close, but my experience tells me that what staging is important for is to give the room reference. So for example, if you have a counter, okay, people have no reference to how big that room is, how big that counter is. If you put a coffee maker on the counter, it gives them reference all of a sudden. Now they have reference, okay? So that's what you want. You don't need massive staging, guys. You don't need to be bringing in the $10,000 staging companies to stage your apartments. Don't even go there. But do something to give your room some reference, okay? That's number one. Number two, make sure you do not do not clutter the space. That's the faux pas of staging, is cluttering the space with crap everywhere. You want to stage just enough to give the room reference. That's it. Then the next thing is very, 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 very cool and easy. And right now it'll be tough to do, okay? I admit it'll be tough to do. But again, guys, I'm not giving you advice for today here. This advice is not for, this advice is not for today. It's for today. But this advice is not like it. This advice is for you in the next today, this quarter, and this year, and into next year, okay? This is gonna be, for you to do this properly, is gonna take you months, maybe depending on how big of a property portfolio you have, maybe it could take you a year, but it's worth it. Now, the best staging and often the cheapest staging is your client's existing furniture. You've all had the opportunity where you go into a place and your client has set up a beautiful little home. It's actually really well kind of put together. It's clean. There's not a bunch of clutter everywhere. And you know, you're like, hey, let's take a few pictures. You know, would you mind if we took a few pictures? And most of the time, if you ask the question, the clients are going to say, fine, that's cool, not a problem. That is, that's often the cheapest way to stage. Now, but I have a new way to stage, which is the cheapest thing I've found going. Super cool. And this what it is. It's called virtual staging, okay? And here are examples of virtual staging. Now, folks, look at the picture. You can see it you can see my screen. And by the way, your experience of this picture is the same experience someone would have of the picture, because they're seeing on a digital screen just the way I am, okay? Just the way you are, I mean. But look at that, that's virtual staging, okay? That there is inserted virtually. There are companies who do this. Check this out. Look at this, okay? That looks absolutely incredible. And it doesn't cost tens of thousands of dollars. You know how much this costs? $20 a picture. That's it. So you could probably stage your entire apartment for 50, $100 a picture, $200 a picture, maybe $200 an apartment. Very, very, very. I'll give you the resource in a second here. I found one, but you want to Google virtual staging. Look around, okay? Look at this one. Like, look at this. Perfect, right? It doesn't look digital, guys. It gives you just enough depth to get a sense of what could fit in the space. And that's all you want for staging. That's all you want. This where I found these images was at a company called 3dstagers.com. 3dstagers.com. Okay. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Look at, there's Jason Beluski just put a great resource in there. If someone can capture that, that would be great. Stage it virtually at Gmail. $20 a photo. Perfect. This one here was $29 a photo. Amazing. Guys, this is the way to go in terms of staging. Okay. Cheap, effective, quick. You don't have to wait. You can get it all done. It will be a bit of an investment, but this is going to be critical to your future. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing, lighting. Now let's talk about lighting. If you're going to take pictures, and if you're going to, by the way, the staging, hold on, let me back up. This is, you need video. Okay. The point of this whole conversation is you need video going forward. Absolute must. Okay. No longer negotiable. You need video, but you also need great pictures. And because people are not going to go into your home quite as readily, they're not going to go into your apartments quite as readily going forward. And folks, we've dripped out this information. We've talked about it. You're under lockdown right now for the first wave of COVID. They're expecting a second wave. They're expecting a third wave. Okay. So they're expecting waves. This is not like, we've been saying this since the beginning. We're not just going to go back to normal. Where you're going with rentals is you have to be prepared to fully rent an apartment without you and the tenant seeing each other, without you and your client ever seeing each other face to face and shaking hands. You have got to be in that position. If you're not in that position, in 3 months, you're gonna have a very difficult time. Okay, that's my point. So staging pictures is a part of the process. It's not the entire process. You definitely need to do that, but you need to do more. When you're doing video, you got to consider the lighting. Now, one of the big, and it's a basic tip, okay, basic tip, guys. But right now, I'm pulling out all the stops to give you all the tips, which is do not do your videos at night. Okay. Your videos at night are a bad idea. You're not getting the natural light from the outside, first and foremost. It creates shadows everywhere because of the overhead lights. So do not do videos at night ever. Always do videos during the day. Okay. And if you want to invest in a lighting kit, go on Amazon, and this is what a lighting kit looks like. These are not expensive, folks. I know they look expensive and they look fancy and it looks like it's going to cost a ton. These are $79 to $99, and they light up a whole room. You may want to consider investing in one. Okay. So this one here is $99 on Amazon. Okay. So you may want to check that out. Okay. Next. Oh, all right. Here's where I get into the deets. I get into details. Is this good, by the way? Am I hitting the mark here, folks? Man, these digital presentations are tough because I can't see you guys, so I don't know if it's landing. Is it good? I'm gonna wait. I forgot my pinky, Jennifer, sorry. Okay. All right, so let's keep going, it's good. So next, viewpoints. So number 3 is viewpoints. Now viewpoints, what viewpoints are is a couple things. There's a couple different angles to viewpoints I want you to consider, okay? You see that fancy device there? That's called a smooth, S-M-O-V-E, a smooth. And that's a device, there's many of them. The kid I showed you at the beginning, let me see if I can just go back to the kid right here. See the device he's holding there? That's another version of it. You've probably seen that one advertised on Facebook. They're all over the place. So what that device does, guys, is that's called a glide. That's called a glide device. And what it does is it gives your shots that glide, okay? Now I'm going to show you a live version of what a glide looks like, and this is how I want you to do your videos. So you could do, okay, so number 1 is a selfie tour. Now a selfie tour is where you hold up the camera and say, hey folks, my name is JG. Let me take you through the house. Now let me show you. Wow, we got these counters and look at these floors and look at these baseboards. My God, the character in this house is incredible. Got this beautiful exposed brick wall. Just unbelievable. That's a selfie tour. Now, that's if you're comfortable being on camera. You guys know I highly recommend selfie tours. The next option is these glide shots, okay? So here's what a glide shot looks like. Let me show you, okay? Watch what happens. Okay, so you see that? See, those are called glide shots. Now, I know that you think that we are a Hollywood production here, but all that is just movement. That's all that is. So when you're taking video, I want you to, and what's very key, and I'll show you in the next thing, but what's very key to these shots, folks, okay, very, very key, is look at the door frames. You have to start your glide close to a door frame to go from small to big. When you go from small to big, it gives this expansive view and it gives this what's called the glide effect. This is what the pros do, okay? And by the way, guys, a professional real estate video, I mean, realtors will probably put it in the chat, but realtors are paying $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 for videos all day long. That's how much these things cost. So I'm not suggesting you pay that. I'm suggesting you make your own, okay? So that's why I'm teaching you the thing. So here's what a glide video looks like. Look how, see how it's just a couple, an entry. You're just gliding in with your video. So you're taking little video snapshots and you're gonna put those together, okay? That's called the glide. You wanna make sure, that's how you show the viewpoints, and it's always the entrance into the room, okay? It's always the entrance. Look at this next one here. I'll show you it in action. See how you start before the door frame, and then you go in and through the door frame, okay? That's an example of, and you gotta use the door frames. That's the key to the glide and the viewpoints, okay? Perfect. All right, so now that's the glide. You got to use the glide. It's a great tool. It's easy to do, and perfect. Now, next is standalone viewpoints. So this comes back to that 360-degree thing. So when you're taking pictures and videos, okay, I want you to go through. So what I want you to do is this. I'm going to do this actually. Hold on. I'm going to do something pretty cool here. Let me go back. I'm doing this for Jennifer right now, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take out a pen and paper, okay? I want you to draw out your property. Let's just say this is the main entrance, and then you have an open concept. Yeah, I'm just making this up, by the way, guys. You have a kitchen here, and then you have like a big island here, let's say, okay? Okay, let's just say, and you have a sofa here, okay? I'm just making this up. And then you have like you have a room here, then you have another room here, and you have like, say, another kind of room here, and maybe the utility room's here. So utility. Let's just say, I'm just, like I said, guys, I'm making this up for a point. I'll show you in a second. Okay. So there you go. So this is how this property is laid out. Let's just say, I want you to, this is the main entrance here. This is the main entrance. I want you to plan out your standalone viewpoints. That means you go into your property and you say, where are people going to stand and look? So the first standalone viewpoint is right here. As soon as you walk in, there's a standalone viewpoint right there. The next standalone viewpoint is wherever, let's just say this is the kitchen sink right here, okay? So right here, looking that way is going to be a standalone viewpoint, okay? There's no doubt about it. Another so you got another standalone viewpoint is here, looking this way. So you want to pre-plan your standalone viewpoints as you go into the room if you don't have like a 360-degree camera. Now, again, I'm going to come back to this, and I really hope, folks, I'm not harping on it. I think you're getting the point, but it was okay for us real estate housing providers, rental housing providers. It was okay for us to take shitty pictures 6 weeks ago. It was okay. It's not okay anymore. We are going to have to compete harder than ever before. You've got to be ready for this. So plan this out. Plan out your standalone viewpoints. I recommend, and I see there's a bunch of chats going on. I'm not sure if people are talking about 360-degree cameras. We have one at Vista Property Group. Let me clear this drawing. And it looks for something very similar to this. I showed you this picture at the beginning, but this is what it does. It does a great job, folks. Now, I want to just pause for a sec. If you do a 360-degree camera, it doesn't mean you don't do the glide shots. It doesn't mean you don't do the virtual staging. You do it all. The more of this you do, the more of an immersive experience you can provide to your tenants before they get there, the more likely you are to get that deal. Bottom line. So that's what you're going for, is you're going for an immersive experience. If you're taking notes, please write that down. You're going for an immersive experience. Now I see, folks, I'm just looking at the chat. Bonnie's posted that resource for the 33 headlines. There's the link. Okay, so just grab that link right from there and go direct. Go do that right now. Get the 33 headlines report. It'll save you a ton of time, folks. It's going to save you so much brain power. It's going to save you so much time. You're going to love it. So go do that right now. While I take a drink, I got to make sure I lift my pinky. Right, Jen? It's just tea. It's just tea in there. It's just tea. Just tea, right, Jen? Okay, let's continue. So what we use Louis for, Al, you got to be kidding me. Anyways, I'm gonna have to get with that after. Louis is asking the question, what camera do you use? The camera's called, I'm gonna type it in the chat for everyone. It's called an Insta-1, like that, okay? Insta-1. That's how we, that's the 360-degree camera you get. You do have to get the bar, okay? Also, if some of you are getting an error, it might be because you have to clear your cookies maybe, or open it in a private window. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll keep going. You got to get that standing thing, okay? That's important. That's an accessory you got to get. That's an important part to getting this effect here, okay? You got to get the standing thing. Okay, enough on that. Let's keep going. Now, next. Again, very important to isolate unique features. Now, some of you are doing this naturally. Some of you are, some of you aren't. I'm not sure. I know some of you are, and I know some of you aren't. But here are the unique features that you want to make sure. And I love what Jeff Barker is saying right there. Jeff's saying, if we're posting on Facebook and Kijiji, what's the best way to get these videos into the ad? Jeff, I am going to talk about that right at the end, bud. Hang on to that. That's a great question. So let's talk about, I'm going to come back to that. Isolate unique features. Kitchen and bath, you guys know that, okay? Very cool. Countertops. You got to isolate those unique features if you have them. The appliances, stainless steel appliances, new appliances, clean appliances, refurbished appliances, whatever's going on, isolate that. Again, folks, you have to, this concept of an immersive experience, you really got to tattoo that on your forehead, because no longer will, here I am, geez, I'm spitting all over my screen here. My gosh, I'm all excited. I'm spitting all over the place. You have got to keep in mind that this immersive experience is what's going to drive the consumer to rent with you before other people. So you have to be way more, yeah, I'm moistly speaking, that's right, Denise. You have to be way more expressive than you have been, way more. Talk about the appliances, definitely talk about the closets. Every rental decision, unless you're renting specifically to male, most rental decisions are made by women, and women love the closet. So point out the closets, point out where they can put their shoes, point out the items that are of low maintenance, point out items that are specifically created for low maintenance, right? So for example, ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice that what we put on our floors is we actually use a great floor that is actually very low maintenance. We do not use a laminate floor, but rather we use a vinyl plank floor. And the reason for that is because it's waterproof. And the reason for that is because it requires very little maintenance. And the other reason is it doesn't show dirt. That's why we picked this great color. And you gotta put these low maintenance features, highlight them. Next, point out, especially today, what this is going to do, COVID-19, is it's going to tighten everybody up. Everyone's going to be way tighter with the money than they've ever been. And you have to point out the energy efficiencies. Folks, we have some new windows where we just installed new windows 2 years ago. These are the most efficient windows we could put in this place. It's going to lower your heating costs. In the insulation, we just recently put blown in insulation, So point out the energy efficiencies, okay? Point out the wireless connectivity. This is a major pro tip, guys. Okay. LED lights, very good, Denise, good point. Wireless connectivity. You want to mention, I'm assuming it's true, of course, all of this has to be true about your place, right? I'm assuming that. But make sure you point out how good of reception you get in the place. You guys know that there are some places in various cities where you just don't get freaking good cell reception. It doesn't work very good. It drops calls and so on and so forth. If you have good wireless connectivity, point that out. It's very, very important, okay? Next, this one, you have to be pointing this out right now. Office and working space. Point out where people are gonna work. So here's what it sounds like. Folks, in this amazing 3-bedroom apartment, we have 3 bedrooms. And so that means you can have a bedroom for yourself. You can have a second bedroom for either guests, or you can have a second bedroom for family, a second bedroom for kids, whatever the case may be. And there's a third bedroom. And if you don't need that third bedroom for guests or kids or a family member, you could set up a beautiful workspace in here. This actually, you could fit easily 2 desks in here. You'd be able to work from home. Guys, working from home is the new reality for everyone. Government employees included, bank employees included. Office space is about to get, commercial office space is going to go through an interesting, turbulent time in the coming years, because a lot of companies are going to shrink their physical footprint, because now they know that they can operate digitally and they can operate remotely. So everyone's going to need that working space. Very, very important. Okay. Next, is security. Very important to point out the security features. Point out that you have a deadbolt. Point out that you have a keypad lock and a number lock and a deadbolt and another lock. Point out if you have a security camera. Point out outside. Point out if you have a security system. Point out if it's on an upper level floor. Point out the fact that it's more secure because it's on an upper level floor. Point out these components about the security. If it's something that's relevant to your tenants, okay? If it's something that's relevant to your tenants, you got to point. If I don't know your properties. You know your properties and you know what's important. So make sure, beware of dog. That's funny. Okay, next. Make sure to capture the outdoor video of the outdoor, okay? And emphasize the curb appeal, emphasize the yard. Now, again, folks, okay, I heard yesterday, I was talking to some friends who have a beautiful place in Gatineau, Quebec, and they recently moved from Ottawa, and they recently bought a property, I think it's an acre, maybe 2 acres actually, and they had a beautiful condo, and they said to me, man, I would have just went nuts if we'd still be in our condo right now. So what I'm saying is this: the outdoor space is going to become that much more valuable to people, okay? Outdoor space, outdoor living space. Point out the park across the street. Point out the nature trails that are around the corner. Point out the fact that the kids can play in the yard. Point this stuff out, and you can't assume they're going to know. And go take a video of it, folks. You only got to do this once. Once you take a video once, it's good forever, okay? And now you got to keep in mind, that when you take video and pictures to create some depth, don't just take stuff head on. Get creative with it, right? Get creative with your stuff, and you'll see that it's going to make a big difference for you. Okay. Again, wasn't nice to have 6 weeks ago. Going to be a need to have today and 6 weeks from now. Last, but I'm on my, I only got 4 more slides left. Unfortunately, I know it's a sad time coming to the end of my presentation. I had so much fun. Optimize for mobile. You guys know that oftentimes, folks, we create these things on our computers. Okay, we shoot the video on our phone, and then we bring it. Oh, by the way, let me go back. Do you need fancy equipment for this? No, you do not. Okay, you do not have to have if you want to do the 360 camera, then you need a 360 camera. But other than that, your phone will do the trick. It's going to do even a better job if you have an iPhone. We all know that. But you don't need to go buy a special camera, DSLR this and all fancy lenses. You know, you can, you don't have to. Okay, but optimize for mobile. The point of this is make sure that you optimize for mobile. Oftentimes we create these projects on our computers, and we're only thinking about it from a computer perspective because that's where we're editing the project, but 80 to 90% of the traffic is seeing it on their phone. So you have to optimize for mobile, okay? Now this comes back to Mr. Baker's point, okay? I've been saying for some time that you need a website, okay? Now here's the thing, okay? The platforms are not equipped to deliver what I just said to you. They're not equipped to deliver a 360-degree video. They're not equipped to deliver a 3D tour. They're not equipped to do any of this stuff. They're equipped to usually have just photos. So what's going to happen is everyone, okay, everyone is going to have the photos, okay, cool. But then the tenants, the clients, the people you're trying to sell, they are going to want to go find more information. That's where your website comes in. So this is a snapshot of like Vista Property Group's website, and these some of the apartments we have. I just took this snapshot literally 4 minutes before I started speaking. But this is where you're going to upload, you know, not 10 images, but 20. This is where you're going to upload your 360 tour. This is where you're going to upload your 3D tour. So you need a tenant-centric website, okay? You need somewhere for your tenants to be able to go to say, show me more about this place before I fill out your application. Show me more about this place before I sign up, okay? Website will become critical. You don't get ready now, you're going to be left behind. The website's going to be critical, or some other place, but you need a place to store all this stuff. And the average profile, the average Zumper, Pad Mapper, all that, they can't accept all this data. They're not set up for all this. And by the time they get all set up, and they may never get set up, quite frankly, you need to be prepared, okay? Now, if you need help with this, folks, this is where Remy is one of your trusted partners. If you put your info in the chat, if you need help with putting together videos, if you want to like not have to worry about it and have Remy just do it, you can do that. Remy can help you out. If you want Remy to help you with the website, Remy can help you. If you need help with this stuff, folks, put your info in the chat. Someone will set up a call with you and see what you need, and then see the best way to help you, okay? Because some of you are like, JG, I love this. Great slides, fantastic, but I ain't ready to do any of this shit. All I want is I want to have someone else do this for me because I'm busy. I got a job. I got a business. I got stuff to do. I need someone to help me with this. So if that's your case, then go to Remy. We are your trusted partner, and Remy will help you, okay? So that's that. With regards to the marketing masterclass, and I'll end on this in about 3 minutes, PF, is with regards to marketing masterclasses, the marketing masterclass next week is not just for real estate owners. 60% of RAIN members are business owners. And we got to admit, and this is a Remy initiative, this is a RAIN initiative, and Patrick Francie is at the heart of it. Keep in mind, Patrick and I own many other businesses separately, and everyone's under the effect of COVID, okay? And the fact is that if you're not a step ahead of the game in the marketing right now, you're going to have a hard time starting up this machine called your business when things start to open up again. I know that, and I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm going to draw you a couple things for you guys. Okay. I know that everybody is expecting the business world to go like this. Okay. Where this was, March 21st, and here's May 12th in Ontario when we open up again. And like by May 20th, we're up here. I'm not saying, I don't think that's what's going to happen myself. I think that what's going to happen is I think that they're going to slowly open up this machine, and it's going to be more like this. Okay. And this here is going to be a grind. Okay. And I don't know how long this is going to take, but I know you have to be ready, folks. And I know you're going to have to fight for clients. And I know you're going to have to be ahead of the game on your communications. And I know that you're going to have to do better than you've been doing to really do well in your business. And now I'm speaking to business owners. I'm not speaking to real estate investors anymore. I am, but I'm also speaking to you business owners out there that you might own you may be a realtor, maybe a mortgage broker. And mortgage brokers are doing what they're doing right now. You may own a spa, you may be a chiropractor, you may be a consultant, you may own a retail store, you may own a coffee shop. Whatever you owned, the point is the marketing masterclass is for you. Real estate investors, you're going to get a ton out of it. You're going to love it. There's no doubt. But business owners out there, you're really going to love it. So here's what we're going to talk about at the marketing masterclass, just to give you a bit of a heads up. And you got to register for it. You can go to, David just put the link in there. Good job, David. So what we're going to do at the marketing masterclass is we're going to show you how to create a funnel for your business. Okay. Because right now what's going to happen is this funnel is going to dry up. It's going to have nothing going on in it. And we're going to show you how to do lead generation. Okay. So how do you do lead gen in a time like this? And how do you put clients into that funnel? That's what we're going to show you. We're going to show you how to convert, and this is very important. We're going to show you how to convert suspects into prospects. And if you can, because there's going to be a lot of suspects out there, and the faster you can convert them into prospects, that's where you're going to make some money. So you have to convert them. There's a system to doing that. And there's actually technology to help you do that. There's actually an online system to help you do that. We're going to show you how to do that. That's very, very important. You also need to know your return on investment for your marketing dollars. I've talked about this a little bit. And every one of you who's thought,